Hello, so first I'm going to be starting off with connective tissue, which is, I chose adipose. So what I'm pointing at is the nucleus of the fat cell. The blue little ball is the fat vacuole, which this fat vacuole does have a cytoplasm rim. And then like the little orange lines are capillaries. And then you can see a better version there where I'm pointing is the fat vacuole. But yeah, here's the better version, which initially it will look like that under a microscope. But let's get into the function of the adipose. Adipose tissue primarily functions as an energy store site. It's storing energy in the form of lipids while also providing insulation for the body by regulating temperature, cushioning organs, and acting as an endocrine organ by secreting hormones that influence metabolism and other bodily function. Essentially, it stores energy when food is abundant and releases it when needed. But yeah, here you go. Next, we'll be talking about its structure, which is primarily composed of fat cells called adipocytes, which are tightly packed together and contain a large central lipid droplet surrounded by a thin layer of cytoplasm making up the majority of the cell volume. This tissue is held together by a network of connective tissue fibers, including blood vessels and nerves, and is organized into lobes. Next, we'll be talking about the nervous tissue, which I pick a neuron, as you can see here. Alright, let's get started. So the first thing I'm pointing is the cell body. Second is the dendrites, as you can see. Third is the nucleus, that's called the axon. What I'm pointing at is the myelin sheet. Now I'm pointing at the Schwann cells. The little blue balls in the middle between the Schwann cells are called the neuron. Those are the axon terminals. I couldn't really get a good picture of the neuron, but let's get into the structure. The neuron consists of a cell body called soma, dendrites, and an axon. The cell body houses the nucleus and other organelles. Dendrites are branching extensions that receive signals from other neurons, and the axon is a long single extension that transmits electrical impulses away from the cell body to other neurons at synapse. The function of the neuron is responsible for receiving, processing, and transmitting electrical and chemical signals throughout the body. Next, we'll be talking about the muscle tissue, which I did skeletal, and I started from the very beginning and how it starts. So the straws represents a myofibril, and that's where the sarcomeres would be at, the microscopic structure, and that would be where the muscle contracts and it's not alive. And as you can see, the next part of it would be a group of muscle cells, which would be the straws wrapped around in red tissue, which gives us a muscle cell, which they are long and they are called fibers. The red tissue would represent endothelium. And now if we have a bunch of fibers, it would be a fascicle, which you would see mine would be wrapped up with a yellow paper, tissue paper, whatever it's called, which represents perineum. And now finally, the last part would be the whole thing wrapped around with blue tissue paper, which means to represent epinesium. And then next, it will show you a better version of it. So the purple will be the nuclei. Skeletal muscle is composed of long cylinder muscle fibers bundled together by connective tissue sheets, with each fiber containing numerous myofibrils that are made up of repeating units. Sacromoses, which are basic contractor unit of the muscle. Here's a better version of it. You can see the striations. The purple is the nucleus, and by the way, it's muscle. Microscopic. Moving on, I did epithelial tissue, which I picked simple columnar epithelial. As you can see here, the little blue hair is the microvilla. There I'm pointing at the nucleus. And the green thing is the connective tissue. The long orange cylinder type thing, it would be the columnar cell. As you can see, it's a better picture here. The structure would be a simple columnar epithelium. Epithelium is composed of a single layer of elongated columnar shaped cell that are taller than they are wide, with an oval nuclei typically located near the base of the cell, all directly attached to a basement membrane. Essentially, it looks like a single row of tall rectangular cell with the nuclei clustered towards the bottom of each cell. Its function is to secrete and absorption, and yeah, I will say this one was a lot more easier to make. Next, I'll be talking about the skin, and here's the model of it. Not the best representation of it. I really tried to make it work. It was a little hard to make it, but let's get to it. In the skin, there are 3 layers: the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. Obviously, the very top of it, there is the top of the skin. There is the hair shaft, which would be the epidermis layer. Getting towards the middle of the box, it would be the dermis layer, which contains the little brown long thing is the hair. The little like teal Play-Doh that we have stick next to the brown thing, which the hair would be the squamous gland, which is the oil. And as you can see, there's like all around the hair, there would be a hair root on the bottom of it. You can see a big circle drawn to it, and it should also contain the hair follicle there. Next to that, there is an acceptor pili muscle. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So here you can see I did it. The purple thing is the hair root, and as you can see, there's a lighter blue and a darker blue Play-Doh around there, which is called the acutious vascular flux. The little orange thingy that looks like fingers, it's called a sensory nerve fiber. The little spiral green, neon green, would be the pannison corpuscle. I hope I'm pronouncing everything correctly. I hope. The straw that I have there, the bottom of it is called the endocrine sweat gland, and then the top of it, it's called the pore of sweat gland duct, which it should be coming up right now where I show you where it is. There's some things that I'm putting in there so you can see where I'm talking about. The bottom of it, the more of orange, the lighter orange little circles would be the adipose tissue. Like I was saying earlier, I added some few things that I labeled some things so you guys understood me what I was saying, because it was all pulled together. I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to me. I'm sorry that this was not the best representation of the skin model. I really tried. I'm not very artistic, and thank you.